welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about if you're wanting to quit your job. For those of you who don't know, I have been without a job for like 3.5, 4 months. I've been loving not having a job. It's been great, and I just want to tell you kind of my thought process and how you guys can go quit your job, start a side hustle, or to spend more time with your family, or whatever your motivation is to quit your job. I thought that I would just share some tips and tricks with you guys of some things that I've done, some things I wish I would have done, and just to get the ball rolling to hopefully get you so you can move on to other things rather than your regular 9 to 5 or whatever kind of job that you are stuck in currently. I have 7 tips for you guys today, so if you are curious in any of those tips, then go ahead and just keep watching. The first tip that I have for you guys, I think, is just kind of more of a mindset and more something that you're just going to have to know going into the process of trying to financially be stable enough to quit your job. My first tip is that you need to be willing to make sacrifices. You're gonna have to be willing to make sacrifices to maybe pick up a second job. You might have to make sacrifices to work more hours. You might make sacrifices to stop spending as much. Just in general, you're gonna have to be willing to make sacrifices so you can ultimately get to your main goal. My second tip is to start like a budget, start tracking what your expenses are, look forward into what kind of expenses that you need to pay for. So if you start tracking what you're spending currently, maybe you and your family are spending $2,500 every month on food and entertainment. I have no idea what you're spending. I don't know anything about you. Just kind of know at least a general idea of what your expenses are. Try and make a budget to lower those things, or if you don't feel like you can lower your expenses, then consider getting another job or earning some sort of different income, and just be conscious of your costs and where your money is going so you can make adjustments. And that kind of leads me into number 3, which is just to spend less, just start saving more. It's gonna be really hard for you to feel comfortable quitting your job if you have very little money in your bank. I know a general rule that lots of people like to go with is have 6 months worth of expenses in your bank account before quitting your job, or for if you're wanting to become an entrepreneur. If you are not earning any income with your next phase in life, usually 6 months is kind of like a minimum of how much of your expenses you should have covered to kind of feel comfortable into going to that next phase. Tip number 4 is also kind of a little bit about budgeting, and that's to look at like your big expenses. Obviously, like rent is usually a big expense, food is a big expense, cars can be a big expense, utilities are big expenses. If you can look at your big expenses and cut there, that's gonna save you the most amount of money over time. So if currently you're paying, say, $1,500 for rent, and you're able to relocate somewhere that you're feel comfortable with, and that drops down to $1,000 instead of $1,500 every single month, then I mean, in 2 months time you're already saving $1,000 bucks. Look at your big expenses, see if you can make tweaks there first, because that is going to save you the biggest chunk of money. My 5th tip is to have a pretty good idea about how much money you want to save before you get to the phase of wanting to leave your job. So like I said earlier, 6 months is usually about the minimum of expenses that you want to have in your bank account before you just say bye-bye to your job. If you want to do 6 months, then calculate what that number is. If you want to do a year, if you want to do 3 months, whatever it is that you want to do, I would calculate that pretty dang closely. You need to save $10,000 for whatever kind of time period that you're in. If you make that $10,000 your goal, then you can easily kind of figure out how much you're gonna save per month. So maybe you're gonna save $1,000 every single month, so you can plan on in 10 months I can quit my job. Something like that, where you can give yourself motivation by knowing that you have smaller goals to get to your big goal, and it's gonna feel more attainable and more realistic when you feel like you have goals in place that you can achieve. And number 6 is, when you do have that $10,000 or whatever that amount is in mind, think about how you're going to spend that. Are you only going to be using that to live like your daily life expenses, where you're paying the rent, all your bills, food, entertainment, like, is that only gonna cover what you're currently doing? Or are you gonna be an entrepreneur? You're gonna need some money to start up your business. Think about what other expenses could possibly come up when you go unemployed. Just be very mindful about that what you're budgeting for your current state may change once you are unemployed. Your expenses will change a little bit because your lifestyle is changing. And my 7th tip is to know your motivator. This goes for anything that you're gonna do in life, but when you know what is motivating you to get to that next phase in life, it's gonna be so much easier to stick with your plan, to stick with your budget, to really go through the whole process of getting to that goal, because you realize what good it's going to do for you, your family, your life, your happiness. If you know that you want to start your own online business because you want to be able to stay home with your kids, have a flexible schedule, you want to be able to control your own work habits, that's a pretty good motivator. Just know the reasoning behind why you want to get to this goal, and that's going to help motivate you more than anything else, is to know what you're motivated for. If you're just making a goal because you want to see if you can achieve it, it's not gonna be as easy for you. You're not gonna have as much enthusiasm to get to that goal. Those are all 7 of my tips to jumpstart your process into getting through your job and to quitting your job. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, learned something. If you have anything else that you want to add, how you quit your job, or anything, any questions, please leave them down below. I would love to talk to you guys about it. I've been loving my life as unemployed. I have so much time to do all the things that I want to do, and it's marvelous. I get to travel. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you all in my next one.